Gemstones season 1. We talked about the first episode, hour long, and then they moved to the half-hour episodes. After that was something we were a little bit skeptical about, and I'm glad that they did move to the half-hour. Overall, I felt like this first season of Gemstones was a bit up and down. I felt like there were a couple episodes that were pretty forgettable, and then some moments and lines and things that happen that I think are going to be burned into my memory forever in good ways and bad. But overall, I especially the second half of the season, I thought really picked up. The last like 3 or 4, I thought like I had no idea where it was going at any point. I thought they really hit their stride. How'd you feel about Gemstone season 1?
Yeah, I really quite enjoyed it. And we talked about with the premiere that they didn't really waste any time with the setup of, exploring the mystery, the blackmailing that the show leads up to. The twists are explored or told to the audience early on regarding the son being involved and the blackmailers meeting McBride and co. in the first episode, and really advancing the plot quickly. So I was happy they didn't get too bogged down. But ultimately, you're not watching a Danny McBride and Jody Hill production for the plot mechanics. You're watching it for the
ridiculous
the hangs and you're just hanging out with like their past work, just assholes. Generally, I think that's just the best way to describe at least the characters McBride plays, and they're really good at doing that. It's just generally a good hang, funny time. And this time around, Righteous Gemstones, the window dressing is really, really rich because it's this aloof, evangelical, televangelist millionaire situation, right? And that in and of itself, I think, really can hit a lot of chords because it's based in reality here in the U.S. of that very phenomenon. And then having it just be totally lampooned is a good time. And then when you have Walton Goggins come in, again, a veteran of McBride and Hill shows with vice principals, having him come in and just throw 100 the whole time is hilarious. And then when you have like one-off moments like the flashback episode, and the misbehaving song, there's just a lot of I think a lot of funny things to kind of like grab onto with this show. And again, you're not looking to McBride and Hill for like grand statements. And as I said before, they shy away from any kind of judgment on evangelical Christians. But I think that's okay because ultimately it's just a really good time, and that's what we are watching for with these guys. So I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I don't mind a comedy that doesn't feel like it needs to be a philosophy show as well. Like it can just take a funny, ridiculous concept that allows them to, make fun of the lavishness and the exuberance that these people have and kind of make fools of them. And I'm okay with that. I think the person that stood out to me the most in this season was Edie Patterson.
Yeah.
She's great. Basically gets to play she basically just gets to play this very childish Arrested Development type
like a sycophant.
Middle-aged woman? Yeah, exactly. And her relationship with BJ was probably some of my favorite moments throughout the season. And BJ just himself was fucking hilarious. When he says he's edgy now and he got the earring, I think I was crying laughing on my couch. I thought that was so funny. Also, the fact that they kept meeting in like Outback Steakhouses to like talk about their relationship was just so ridiculous and funny to me.
Right.
But just overall, I thought each character got a lot of great moments. And the interesting piece for me was where I felt like the show really caught its stride was when Danny McBride got to not be so much of a dick. He's still a dick throughout, but when he actually got to have a relationship with his son and like be sincere and loving towards him, I felt like the show really shifted and took in a good way, and created a lot of underlying conflict and dynamics that really brought a lot more to the show than just him being Kenny Powers throughout the whole thing.
Right. Yeah, I agree, because I think they do a really good job of laying that groundwork to pay off in the future. And it's ultimately really satisfying. I don't think anything is overly surprising about where the story goes, but I think that's just okay when it's kind of orchestrated uh,
Yeah.
to this level of success.
Yeah, the one thing I did find surprising was when the stuntman comes to the house. I thought that was like super ballsy. I didn't expect that. Um, and then when he's when what's his name, Jesse is looking at him, it's like, you know what? You look so familiar to me. He's like, I played uh like serial killer on SVU for like a 3-episode arc. He's like, nah, I don't watch anything that I forgot what he said. I don't watch anything that involves solving crimes or something like that, or figuring shit out. I was like, that's fucking like so perfect for that character. Um, Also, when Jesse calls all of his friends and their wives together to watch the video because he wants to feel absolved of all of his sins or
Right.
whatever he said,
Hmm.
that scene too was so hilarious. Not only like the two kids being there, the two kids of the dad who you get like you see his like tiny little dick, but also just like the reaction all of the guys had throughout was just like it was killing me. I really thought this show had a lot of good moments. And you mentioned Walton Goggins, who, man, I mean, I for someone that wasn't like a main character in the show right in the beginning and kind of comes in like 2 or 3 episodes later, I feel like he steals the show in a lot of ways. Like every scene with him, like you said, is electric. And uh, I think especially Baby Billy is a character that people are going to remember at the end of the year when they talk about some of the characters of the year.
Oh yeah, and it's been renewed for season 2, so
Yeah.
we'll be back. Looking forward to it.